What's up, everybody? This is Colonel Freeze here, bringing you the second series from the inaugural PL StarCraft 2 tournament. And let's get right down to it. In the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Terran, Rare, and his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner, the pink Zerg, is going to be Centra Strike, playing under the name of Assassin. I'm going to refer to him as Centra Spike for the rest of this game. So let's get right to it. It's going to be everyone's favorite to watch, is ZVP. I'm sorry, is ZVT. And I say that a bit sarcastically, I can't stand ZVT. But that's because I'm a Protoss player at heart, so any game that doesn't have a Colossus mowing down fields and fields of bodies is a game that I don't want to watch. And we see Rur going and getting those two supply depots out first. Centra is just going to drone up, and I'm going to accelerate the game a little bit so we can get past this early game monotony. And we're going to see Rur drop a barracks here and complete the full wall off and start getting his SCVs and his refinery down. Centra is going to drop a hatch at his natural, completely standard play from the Zerg. And that's actually a really good sign of how far he's progressed in the last couple months, considering he just picked up the game. And he's going to get his pool down and continue to keep droning up. Meanwhile, Rare up here is Sack and Overlord that came in to have a look. He's going to have a tech lab and a reactor, and go for a Marauder Marine heavy push. It looks like that push is going to start time now, as Rur has a bunker that has been built inside of Centra Spike's natural, so that's kind of a failure on Centra's part in scouting. I don't know why he didn't attack that. He had the observer there looking at it. But it's going to be a race to see whether he can get that bunker before it gets populated, and that is not going to happen. So the Zerglings are assaulting the bunker, the SCV is preparing. Centra's going to notice that and try and take out that SCV. Those Zerglings are going to go down. He's researching Speedlings, and he's got 4 more Zerglings on the way, but it may not be enough to save his queen. And unfortunately, he's got some drones just sitting there doing nothing. That's a mistake on his part. That queen is going to get sapped. Here comes the Zerglings to save the day, hopefully. The Zerglings going to take out one Marauder. But that bunker is on fire, and that's going to burn down within an SCV. Now Centra Spike's in danger of losing that entry. He's got 14 to 16 Zerglings construction about to finish. And they're going to rally up top, which is another mistake. But that hatchery is going to be dangerously close to being sacked. And here we go, Zerglings going first round. That bunker is going to burn down finally. And Centra maybe taking care of this push, not quite. And the next round of Zerglings should be enough to push out the rest of those guys. And there we go. Well, they're fine reinforcements arriving. And Rur is just going to continue with this good pressure and hopefully try and sack that hatchery. It's getting very low. The next wave of Zerglings is in, and they're getting a good surround. And that hatch is going to survive. Nicely done by Centra. At this point, Centra has an obscene amount of minerals, 1,200 minerals. He needs to be spending that somehow. Let's take a look at the Terrans, babe. Got 3 racks and a factory going down. No expansion yet, so we may be seeing... I'm not sure what we're going to be seeing. Probably more of the same Bio Bowl play, but he really needs to expand. Centra, unfortunately, is just not producing very much. It's going up to layer tech, as you can see, but no Roach Warren, no third hatch. He's got 1,600 minerals now. He needs to be spending that. Take a look at the economy tab. Yeah, he's far and away ahead in econ. And we're seeing concussive shells being researched by Rare Engineering Bay to get some upgrades out. But Central Spike, you know, he's up to 1,800 minerals. He needs to be spending the stuff. At this point, he should have an absolutely huge army, but he's supply capped and he's got too many minerals. And you know, that's the next, really the next stage of evolution for a new player. Is, you know, once you can handle fending off early pushes like the ones you just saw, which are common in the lower leagues. Is learning how to get your economy going and spending all that money. You need to be spending constantly. Up here, back at the Terran's base, we see that Rare is expanding. He's putting bunkers down. All completely standard plate from a Terran, albeit the early push pullout. And I just don't... Well, he's getting a Spire now. Nothing else. Some Overlords. Some more Zerglings. Still an obscene amount of money. And I don't know, call me crazy, I just do not like Mutalisk play versus Terran because those Marines are so good at mowing down Mutalisks. Take a look back at the economy tab, and Centra has still got that completely in hand. Rare has just stopped making SCVs, which is another very common mistake in the lower leagues, is that you need to be constantly producing harvesters. You'd rather be oversaturated with harvesters than just not have money at all. And Centra finally putting down a Roach Warren somewhere. There it is. That Spire's about to finish. Depot chamber going down. And see, Centra's doing everything right. Well, mostly right, in terms of econ, in terms of teching up, in terms of upgrades, but he's just missing that crucial step of actually building an army. Now he's got 9 mutas in production. And Rare is going to be working on the siege for his siege tanks and stim for his stim packs. Well, stim for his stim packs. Stim packs for his marines. That's probably a better way to phrase that. Across the map, Rare is taking control of the Zelnaga towers. So Centra must know that he's got some trouble on the way. More mutas in production for Centra. Roach speed is about to finish, but he doesn't have a single roach on the field. And that's another tip for new-ish players, is that you really want to, if you're going to research upgrades for a unit, you should also probably build that unit. Otherwise you're just dumping money into a bottomless pit. We have combat shield being researched, and Centra's losing Mutalisks to a bad rally point. Well, I guess he didn't lose any. I'm just taking some hits. And Rare is kind of undecided right now whether or not he wants to go back or go forward, and I guess he's going to go back and defend against that Muto play. Which again, I mean, having those Mutas harassing is again an entirely right thing for Centra to do. He's pulling the army back for Rare, but he's not taking advantage of it at all. He's not expanding, he's not continuing to build up his army. He's getting 8 roaches now. But he waited so long on the Mutas. His middle line is going to be locked down for Rare. For no reason. Zergos are going to push up the market and get absolutely decimated by the Marines and Marauders. A very few amount of SCVs have been picked off. Let's take a look at the... Oops. Let's take a look at the unit killed tab. 7 workers killed. That's not too bad. 84 units killed by Rare so far. Those are all the Zerglings from the early push. But again, same problem. Sentra has 2,000 minerals, 700 gas, and he's not building really a damn thing. And that part of the problem is that he only has 2 hatcheries. He hasn't expanded to a 3rd or a 4th, which at the 17-minute mark, if Azurga is doing everything right, that's where he would be. I don't think he started anything in his Evo chamber, which is another, I guess, what is that, 150 minerals down? Something like that. Alright, up top we see a push by Rur. He's got 2 siege tanks with the siege ability researched, some more marauders, and a large group of Marines. He's going to attempt to batter down the front door of Sentra Spike. And again, we see more tech going down an infestation pit for Sentra, but that's all well and good, but he's about to lose this game to a superior army, and here we see the game that the Roaches are fighting alone without the Mutalist support. They're going to be decimated by siege tanks. The Mutas are going to come out, they're going to loop around and try and pick off the siege tanks. They're going to get one, and they're going to get the other, I believe. Yep. And that hatchery finally goes down. And see, that's a huge problem for Sentra. If he had expanded to a 3rd or a 4th, you could kind of shrug off that loss. He has just dropped a hatchery here. Meaning he's now on 1 base. He's got 2,700 minerals, so it's not like that's back. I just think it's the decision-making process right now. I don't know, I want Sentra to win, but he's just not doing that final step of spending his minerals. Because look at the supply tab. Rur has 38 supply. 19-minute mark. He barely has an army. He'll pull up the army. He's got 2 marauders, 6 marines, and 2 siege tanks. His marine count is going up, but the biggest ability of Zerg should be to remax their army after losing it, or after any engagement. If Sentra had been playing it right, he should have been able to fend off that push and remax into roaches or hydras, or well, not hydras, mutalisks, or whatever he wanted. But that just didn't happen because of that lack of expansion. I'm going to speed it up a little because we don't have much going on here. Here, a few more upgrades for Rur. And Sentra's going up to Hive Tech. And finally putting down a macro hatch. So Sentra's kind of got his head screwed on straight now. But look at this big push. Mostly Marines now to counter that Mutalisk threat. And still 1,700 minerals for Sentra. Got tons of larvae. Getting a greater spire now. So like his intention was to tech up the Broodlords, but Broodlords by themselves don't do much. Oh, he is getting a Dural Parasite, so maybe some... Never mind, here we see a big push, taking out the 3rd. And that's going to put Sentra in some real trouble. Again, he's going to be down on Larva, down on Saturated. Using a lot of roads. And he's panic producing Zerglings, but it's going to be too little too late at this point. And Rur's going to run up the ramp, and we're going to have that engagement. And not very good army control by Sentra. And Marines are going to have no problem pushing through, sacking the screen. Once again, taking out that hatch. That's going to be it for game 1. Rur with a very shaky victory versus Sentra Spike. He's declined to spend his minerals. As you see, he's GGing with 1,700 minerals and 1,600 gas, so... Alright, that's going to be it for game 1 of Rur versus Sentra Spike. And this part of the bracket for the Pandemic Legion tournament, and we will have Game 2 for you shortly. Stay tuned.